Hi traders, this is Forex Nelson and I'm back again today with another 7 trades, and I'm using my new FX trigger system. Keep in mind, whoever picks up my FX trigger system, I'll be showing you how you can get your hands on this trading simulator for the MT4 platform. It is totally free. It will allow you to trade, practice trading 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, market open, market close, doesn't make any difference. It'll allow you to do the equivalent of 1 year's worth of trading within a few hours, like on a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, which is what I do every weekend. I put up to 8 hours practice. Even as of this date, almost 17 years later, I'm still practicing every weekend, and this is the main reason why my trading has achieved a high level of success. Comes complete with a 25 page ebook that shows you how to work all the different features and options that it has. Now, when I did this on this particular date, I ended up doing 26 trades plus 2 of them that were running. So a grand total of 28 trades. Now I did that in less than an hour, and I took a $10,000 account and made over $10,000. I doubled it in less than an hour, and I had officially only 1 losing trade. So I believe this is what you need to help you to become a successful trader much faster than if you're just doing it Monday to Friday. You have to practice on the weekend. So remember, this is totally free, and I'll show you how to get your hands on it when you pick up the FX trigger system. So, moving right along. Now, before we get into these trades here, and I do say this at the first minute or two of each video because this is the most important thing that you have to know and learn. I would like to inform you that all trading systems will work less than 50% of the time. That includes all my trigger systems. It took me 8 years and over 700 trading systems to learn that. To get that up to the 80 or 90% success rate, you'll have to learn how to trade the flow of the market, which is what I teach. You will also have to learn trade management and money management. To be successful in trading, all you need is a lot of chart time, a lot of demo trading, and a lot of education. I provide the education. Now you must buy this education, whereas the free stuff on the internet is no good. And then you must do the homework or you will fail at trading. I highly suggest putting in more than 1 trade at a time, as no one knows which pair will move the greatest number of pips. That is why I place 3 or more trades at a time. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. This will encourage me to do more of these videos. Now, if you leave your name and email address, I'll put you on my email list for free weekly trading tips. Now we can get into these trades. I took all the trades around 7:30 except for one, this one right here. I took it an hour later approximately. And the bulk of them, as you can see, I sold except for this Aussie Swiss. This is a pair that I don't trade very often. And as you can see, it's a very slow moving pair. I do believe that this pair will be going up as the higher time frame suggests, and the meter at the time for the Aussie Swiss, well, Aussie was more than 80%. Aussie at the top and Swiss was way down at the bottom. It was the best looking pair to trade when I bought it. And I would label that this Aussie Swiss right here was just a little extra bonus for, between 8 and 10 pips. We'll get to that in a moment. On the pound Swiss, sold it. Let's drag and drop this up. The system was saying to sell from back here, 3 red boxes. Everything was screaming to sell. Did qualify when I pulled the trigger, actually from back here. A great way to trade. I took the trade. There's my stop there. And I was risking roughly, around, well, it did go against me 5 pips. I believe it was 10 pips at the time, but anyhow, it's wasn't very many pips, and of course I didn't get very many pips. I ended up with 7 pips, and 7 pips on the pound Swiss paid $773. Keep in mind, I am a day trader. I'm only trading a few hours a day. I like to get my trades in between 6 and 8 or thereabouts and be done between 9 and 10. Today was just a little bit after 10 when I closed out all the trades and also close out the trade. I'm not looking for a certain number of pips per trade. I'm just looking for 100 pips or more when I add them all up. And I can personally guarantee this is well over 100 pips. So a great way to start off this trading week. Now we can take a look at this Aussie Swiss here. As I said, I don't normally trade this, but it was screaming to buy. Did qualify for a great way to trade. And also keep in mind, before I pull the trigger, I drill down lights. That's what I was taught almost 17 years ago. You have to check the higher time frames, drill down the lights, and then I put a line in here basically when I come to the computer. Also wanted to point out, like this blue box here, that's Asian. Now this slightly different color blue box, this is the beginning, an hour before the beginning of London, right in here. And of course from 6 o'clock in the morning, that's the time that I get up. And this is the section that I'm trading. So London and then New York is in here. So I did take the trade here. I knew it was going to go up, but I wasn't expecting a lot of pips because this pair, look at, today only went 35 pips. So I knew I wasn't going to get very many. I got in here, stop default at 10, and I ended up getting 8 pips, and 8 pips on the Aussie Swiss paid $884. Moving right along to the next trade, pound yen. This particular one, well, all the rest I sold them. Let's see where I got in at. Keep in mind, I drilled down the lights. I was 100% sure. Well, let's put it at 95% because there's no such thing as 100%. But I was quite sure it was going to drop. And the system was saying to sell. All the indicators were saying to sell. It qualified for a great way to trade. Took the trade at this cursor. Stop was only 10 pips. Went against me 8 pips. Originally it was a little bit higher up, probably 20 pips, but I tightened it up after it started to drop. And as I said, I closed them all out around the same time. It was bouncing on this ADR, and I was happy at the time with 14 pips, and 14 pips on the pound yen paid $1,279. And as you can clearly see, my workhorses are pumping out the pips. Today was almost 100 pips. That's why I don't bother with all the other slow moving pairs. Euro New Zealand, let's see where I got in at. Now this one, just to let you know, the system wasn't telling me to sell. When I say the system, I'm talking about the 2 red or blue lines and the arrows. It's another way that I trade. From here to here is a pullback. Once it broke through and everything was screaming down at the bottom to sell, I just sold it. That's exactly what I did. Did go against me about 12 pips, and if I stayed in the trade, I'd be making more pips. That's like about 30, but I ended up with 21 pips, and 21 pips on the Euro New Zealand trade paid $1,537. Moving on to the next trade, Pound New Zealand. Sold it, screaming from way back here to sell. Did qualify for a great way to trade. I drilled down the lights, 95% for sure. Knew I was going to make pips. And when you pull the trigger and know 95% sure, your trading level will success will just skyrocket. Look at the stop as the first swing pivot high, which is where I originally put it. It's only 10 pips. I was risking 10 pips. Down here is 47, but I closed it out here just being happy with 35 pips. And 35 pips on the Pound New Zealand paid $2,445. Moving on to the next trade, Pound Aussie. Another one here screaming from way back there to sell. Let's drag and drop this up, see where I got in at. I was 95% sure from this point right here, actually way back here, that we're selling, got in, barely went a point against me, or a pip. 1 pip against me, just the way I love the trade, and it dropped for 40 pips. And I closed it out being happy with those 40 pips. And that paid out $2,950. Moving right along to the Euro Aussie, the last trade. Another one screaming from way back here to sell. Was a perfect example of a great way to trade. Drag and drop it up. Everything looking good. Not only was the system saying to sell, everything down at the bottom was saying to sell. So guess what I did? Sold it. My original stop was only 5 pips. Not a lot to concern myself with. And it did drop down all the way to 56 pips, but I closed it out being happy with 42 pips. And those 42 pips on the Euro Aussie paid $3,098. So another great day of trading, which is a direct result of spending every weekend back testing using the trading simulator. Today's pip total was 157 pips, and 157 pips paid $12,968. So if your system is not producing like my FX Trigger system, I suggest you get your hands on it. And to do so, all you have to do is look right below this video and you'll see this write-up. My system, FX Trigger, which I do charge $250 for it, I teach how to trade the flow of the market. You will never succeed at trading until you learn this concept. Now my system comes with over 4 gigabytes of training, and you'll get an exact copy of my system on your MT4 platform. Comes with 5 MT4 templates, 12 custom indicators, and my favorite meter. I threw in a lot of PDF books, a lot of Word documents, and these 9 bonus videos. That's what you're going to need. A lot of education. Now, there's a lot of ways to trade, and I do teach a lot of ways to trade. There was 42 training videos, but I made 1 bonus video, bumped it up to 43 training videos because I did one that's about 50 minutes long, how to backtest using the trading simulator, along with some tips and tricks on how to trade in your spare time over the weekend. So put this on pause, read everything here. If you have any questions at all, quite simple, pick up the phone and call me. If you live too far, not a big deal. Just shoot me an email. There's an underscore right here. Now I really do prefer Skype. All you got to do is click on this link. We'll have an immediate connection through Skype, and through Skype screen sharing, I will give you a free session, answer your questions, and give you some tips and tricks. Remember, this is with no obligation to you. Now if you click on this link right here, you'll see 34 screenshots of all the trigger systems I've been building over the years. So that just about wraps up this video, and if you have any questions, well, you just get in contact with me. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So until the next trade, happy trading, and remember to keep yourself and your family safe. Okay, bye for now.